Everyone, I'm Tyler Boronski. I'm with Quintin Berry, the Long Island Ducks. Now, Quintin, you're a guy throughout your career. You've been known for your elite speed. Now, I'm sure though speed isn't the only solution to being successful on the base paths. So, what would you say are maybe some keys to being a successful, base stealer?
A lot of it comes with experience. You gotta take into account what pitchers like to do, what they like to throw in certain counts. The situation also dictates what a guy is going to do. Having knowledge on who's behind the plate catching also gives you a little bit of something to have an idea what the times are going to be down to second base. And there's things all over that you can kind of pick from, but the more time you have, the more you have opportunity to learn and understand what's going to happen.
Sure. Now, before you made the major leagues in 2012 with Detroit, you were actually bouncing around organizations, the Phillies, Padres, Mets, Reds. Were you surprised to be moving around so early on in your career? And did you ever think, hey, man, why won't this team just stick with me?
Right. Yeah, my first 5.5 years were with Philly, like you said, and after that I started bouncing around, and I thought it was crazy since I spent so much time with the Phillies to be all of a sudden, moving from one locker room to another. But I've learned to embrace it. I've done it my whole career, and I take a lot of pride in the fact that teams welcome me into their locker room. It's not every day that, teams will take that chance in order to bring somebody in, and to be able to continue to do that, I think speaks volumes on who I am as a person and a player, that people trust me to do that.
Absolutely. Now, in 2012, like I said, you made the major leagues with Detroit, and we talked about your speed earlier. Your first career hit was a rare bunt double against Cleveland. The ball kind of just went over Casey Kochman's head. Did you know off the bat that maybe it was going to go over his head, or were you kind of just hoping pretty much?
Yeah, I was just kind of trying to get down, trying to wheel it down or whatever I could do. But it was an amazing experience to be able to be in Cleveland for the first time after playing 7 years of minor league ball. And, I was just kind of letting everything happen and just trying to enjoy the ride. And to be able to do something like that people remember, I thought it was pretty cool for my first hit.
That's awesome. And that 2012 season for you was really successful. You were with the team pretty much the whole year, named the Detroit Tigers Rookie of the Year, and obviously participating in the World Series at the end of it's not too bad. Can you speak on maybe what you can credit that successful season to, and just how comfortable you felt in the Tigers organization with all your teammates?
They made me feel welcome from the day I got there. I had a great spring training, and the day I got called up, I figured I'd probably be hitting ninth or maybe not even playing, and just kind of enjoying the game. But they threw me right in the fire leading off playing center field. I think Jim Leland did a great job at not allowing me to get too caught up in the emotions of the game and where I'm at, and just kind of let me keep playing the game just like I was in AAA. And I think that helped my success early in the big league. Sometimes sitting around and watching the game, you start kind of getting caught in the moment. So I think that really helped me stay there and be a part of that World Series team.
Sure. In that World Series, you guys were up against the Giants. Unfortunately, they swept you guys that series. What kind of made that Giants team so tough to go up against, and maybe why you guys couldn't figure something out against them?
I think it was Pablo. Pablo doing what he did to Verlander. Game one kind of took the air out of our sails. We felt pretty confident going in, and we had Verlander on the mound. Anytime you had him throwing, you felt like that game was won. So when he hit 3 homers in game one, that kind of knocked the wind out of our sails, and they just didn't stop. And that's how playoffs work. Some teams are hot and the other ones not.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, 2013, you joined the Red Sox at the end of August after a trade from Kansas City. Mainly there again for your speed, and you're put on the postseason roster, appearing in the World Series. Do you think maybe playing in the World Series the year before kind of helped you in the 2013 one, being able to play in high leverage games and your pre-game preparation, and just being able to know your role well?
Yeah, it definitely made it easier for me to understand the way the atmosphere was going to be and what it was like outside of the game. But my role was much different that year in 13. It was a very small role, but a very important one at the same time, to go in there and steal and try to get an extra base. It's a very high-pressure situation. The year before I was playing and getting to play from the first inning on and stuff like that, just a little different. But, getting an opportunity to play in 2 back-to-back World Series was pretty special, so I try to enjoy it.
Absolutely. And in the 2013 one, kind of backtrack the series before, you're actually going up against your former team in the Tigers. was a little surreal going up against your kind of the team you were just trying to help win last year, and you're trying to end their season, so to speak. Talk any trash to them?
Yeah, I talked a little bit. There's a little bit of stuff being said between me and Prince Fielder when I pinch ran at first base, but it was all in fun, and I enjoyed that team. I had so much love for those guys, so it was a great feeling to be able to see them again and be on that stage with those guys was amazing.
Well, let's talk that Red Sox team a little bit. You guys, you have the beard thing going on, which I know you were the only one that couldn't really participate in it, but that group kind of from afar seemed like just like a really passionate group, team that just always had your back. So can you maybe speak on some characteristics about that Red Sox team, and maybe any of the players you grew close with or took you under their wing?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it takes. I think every team that is a winning team or a winning ball club, you have that kind of dynamic when you got everybody's in it together, everybody's all about one goal, and you guys have your little niches and things like that bring you together as a team. And between Dustin Pedroia, Big Poppy, I mean, you had so many guys, Jake Peavy, so many guys with experience, and so many guys that had one goal in mind, and we're all about the team. And it was probably one of the most fun clubhouses I've ever been in, and it kept it loose the entire time.
That's awesome. Now, it's funny looking back that maybe your time with the Red Sox wasn't even that long, but it's because you're part of that World Series team, you're always going to be part of the Red Sox history. Is that kind of neat for you to be able you're going to be going to the World Champion reunions, years later, and
right.
You're always going to be remembered by Red Sox fans?
That's right. It's a good feeling to know, that you're a part of history and that nobody can ever take that away from you. So whenever they need me, then they know they can call me. They got my number, so hopefully they'll let me be involved in it.
Yeah, I hope so. Final question for you, Quintin. You're here now with the Long Island Ducks in the Atlantic League. Your first taste in independent ball. Did you know any guys prior in this team or in this league, and just what you've taken from playing in this league so far?
I've played with almost anybody at this point. I mean, every team that I play on, I've either played with you or against you, so it makes it easy for me to continue to play and to feel comfortable. I played against Jordan Pacheco all the way going back to college. We played it, in the Mountain West Conference. So, played against Mark Krause and Gotai and a bunch of guys. And then even on this other team, there's guys that I've played with at some point. So it makes it easy to transition. We're all somewhere that we're not necessarily trying to be. We've definitely got a place we're trying to get to. But when you see everybody on the same level, we're all pushing for each other to be successful and keep your career going. So, Atlantic League is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. You don't know going into it, but I've had a good time. We have a great team, a great clubhouse, some good coaches, and it's definitely made it a lot easier.
Most definitely. Well, Quintin, thanks so much, and good luck with the Ducks. All right.